So, dear viewers, we're welcoming our last visitor today. I'm going to ask you to hold your own microphone.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are a professor.
Yes.
Your name is James Forge.
Yes.
You are at the University of Leeds, and you have a very long title where you're the chair, or whereby you are a specialist, I think, in climate adaptation.
Yes.
Okay, so there's been really one common theme today, and that is the Arctic both as an arena and as a canary for the climate change agenda.
Yeah.
Could you, as a climate change and adaptation specialist, will tell us what it looks like, say, from the European Union, as our closest ally and collaboration partner? Is the Arctic only about climate change, or is there a wider picture?
Oh no, there's much more going on than climate change. I mean, certainly in the Arctic, it's a minus canary. We're seeing more climate change in the Arctic than we're seeing anywhere else. You know, globally, for example, we talk of 1.5 degrees Celsius and so forth. We've seen that in the Arctic, beyond that in the Arctic in the last 2 years. So certainly we're seeing what we call transformational climate change in the Arctic. But climate change isn't the only game in town. We're also seeing huge social and cultural and economic and demographic shifts in the Arctic as well. And what's important is the impacts that climate change will have will be determined and conditioned by those other changes. And that if we're to understand what climate change means for communities in the Arctic, and we're to develop adaptations, we need to really understand that interaction between climatic and non-climatic drivers.
Yes. So the climate change agenda is very much about stopping an undesirable development.
Yes.
But your specialty in terms of climate adaptation,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how that is seen. Does anyone think that's sort of a treason to the cause in stopping it, to try to adapt? Or is it a fully legitimate part of the agenda?
Oh, for sure, it's definitely a part of the agenda. I mean, 20, 30 years ago, our focus was mostly on mitigation, stopping greenhouse gas emissions, and that remains key.
Of course.
You know, we need to avoid change, but unfortunately, our progress there has not been great.
No.
You know, where the climate's already changing.
So that brought adaptation to the agenda.
It's certainly raised the importance of adaptation. So now if you look at things like the Paris Agreement, the recent IPCC 1.5 report, adaptation is central to all those.
So give me an example of adaptation that you think will work.
There's many. So I work with small indigenous Inuit communities in northern Canada, and I focus upon how climate change is affecting their livelihoods, which is closely linked to hunting and fishing.
Right.
And one of the key adaptations that communities have been working on, and I've been working on as well, is finding ways to enhance the transmission of land-based skills to younger generations. There's a lot of concern that youth aren't learning skills such as how to hunt and how to fish and do so safely, how to judge ice thickness, how to prepare to go harvesting, knowledge of what to do if you get into danger. Important skills which have always been important for safety aren't getting transmitted to younger generations as much as they would. And that's a big issue for climate change. And so a lot of adaptation is focusing on ways in which we can better find ways to preserve and promote that knowledge amongst younger generations.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Professor. I appreciate your insights, and thank you for sharing your thoughts here and on the podium. Thank you.
Thanks.